What is up, guys? This is JT. What I'm going to do today is these lenses right here are really just dull. They're dull and I can't tell if it's on the outside or the inside. I haven't really paid attention. I haven't been doing much with this car lately, but you can just see the dullness. And on this one you can actually see a little bit of where it's clear. See the difference? Might be more. There we go. So dull, and that's what they're supposed to look like. Usually this happens, and as you can see in the very corner as I cut myself off, there's a little coating on the outside of this. So it's basically got some sort of like a clear coat, and you can see the edge of where it's gone. Now what you can do is you can actually sand the whole headlight assembly. You can sand this outside, and you can actually spray just some cheap clear coat on it. You'll want to tape around and obviously paper off anything so you don't get it on your car, because if you did, you might lock in all this dirt, and we don't want to do that. But what I want to do, just as a quick experiment, is test some Totally Awesome on one and some Purple Power on the other, and I'll show you which one is which. So I'm probably gonna let's do the yellow on the left side, which would be the right if you're in the driver's seat, and we're gonna do the Purple Power on this one. This one was actually way worse, so let's see what happens. Okay, before I get too into the test, I just thought of, like, I'm gonna have cross-contamination between the two chemicals, so whichever one I start with is gonna have the best overall scientific result. But anyways, I'm using this buffing, whoa, try not to dent my car. I'm using this buffing pad on a rigid Gen 5X brushless drill that I picked up at a pawn shop. I'm really impressed with this drill, by the way. And so, like I said, whichever one I start with is going to have some contamination, because there's no real way to like clean it all the way off. So that's going to affect the test a tiny bit. So what should we go with? Yellow? Let's go with the purple, because the purple is actually diluted down to either 50% or close to. So let's go with that. Alright, so I used the Purple Power on this side, and boy, it sprayed everywhere. I put way too much on because the spray bottle won't spray. It always locks up the mechanism inside. As you can see, there was a little bit of either buffing compound, possibly wax, I don't know, in the brush itself that came out and helped me buff a little bit. So it did clean it up quite a bit. I'm quite surprised. This actually would be a whole shitload easier if I just had buffing compound, but I don't have any. So I thought I'd test out these different cleaners. This one, since hopefully it sprays, well, maybe if I turned it on, it might help. See, this is what happens. On these heavy duty cleaners, the mechanisms get stuck. So if I can just, and try to keep this shit off your clear coat, because it did eat the clear coat off my motorcycle, and I was not happy with that. So this is what I'm gonna wipe, just like that. But anyways, this is just basically what I did. Wow, what a difference. So whatever this chemical that I already had on here, I assume it's wax, because I don't think I ever had any buffing compound, is helping out the situation. Is helping to clean it. So maybe throw some wax in there with it. But man, look at the difference. Beautiful. I think this one actually did a lot better, yeah. But that being said, this headlight might be worse off. Like that coating that's on the outside on this headlight might be completely gone. I don't know too much about these headlights because I haven't had the car that long, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years. But I'm gonna try this on it. There we go. And let's see if this will help more. Wow. Well, totally awesome it is. But see, the one thing that I gotta warn you about, and hopefully you make it all the way to this part of the video, is the totally awesome. As you can see, it leaves a haze. And this is what I was talking about. See, all right here along this edge where I hit and all around here, the paint is gonna become dull. So what you have to do is come back with like a wax to fix the paint. And I already knew this ahead of time, so if you're gonna try something stupid like that, which I don't suggest doing, it does work. I mean, it's definitely clearer, but at the same time, like I said, it leaves a haze, and it'll leave the same haze on your paint. So these heavy duty cleaners, you might want to dilute them down. I don't know if the yellow one is diluted at all. I don't think it is. But keep the shit off your paint. This is a 95, Eclipse GST, so it's an old car. It already needs paint. Like, paint's, chipped in a bunch of spots, and just look at it. Oh, that's dirt. That would come off. But anyways, it's chipped in a lot of spots. It just needs paint. But it definitely made a difference. But now if we go back over here, you see that haze. You see that haze start to build up. I don't know why it does that. It just does. So your best bet is to actually get buffing compounds that won't damage your paint, that'll actually make your paint look better, and use that on here. Or like I said, hand sandpaper these with, like, if you have to, start with like a 500 grit, 1000 grit, all the way up to 2000 grit. You don't really need that much. Like, the higher the grit sandpaper, the better. It's just going to take a little bit more elbow grease. And then you can spray clear coat, just like a cheap Walmart can of clear coat, and just spray it over your lens, and that'll protect it for a little while. But first you got to get the grime off, and that's what we're doing here. So hopefully this video helps you out. And this side, it left a pretty gnarly haze. I'm gonna sit for a little bit and see if that goes away. Maybe it's just because it's like 19 degrees out here, but it did clean them. Just made it a little bit dull. Tell you what, before I stop the video, I'm gonna go grab some like glass cleaner and we'll clean that off. Okay, for my glass cleaner, I got this at the dollar store for 50 cents because it didn't have a lid. It's kind of strange, but anyways, it says glass and chrome cleaner with bug remover, and that must be in a different language because I can't read it. Just gonna spray some on here, and I probably want to spray some on the car. Oh great, I lost pressure. So much for that idea. Boy, that did some weird shit. It like froze. Bullet point, don't do this when it's like 17 degrees. It's frozen. It's like little iced snow. That is awesome. As you can see though, it cleans up pretty damn well. And it is not taking the haze away. Watch, it'll be back. See how it looks when it's wet? That's what it'll look like if you sand it with sandpaper and just spray it with a nice clear coat. So, all in all, this test was a fail, and also not a fail. It was a learning experience. That's what we'll chalk it up to. That you can't spray propellant-based sprays in cold weather because it will freeze, and actually froze the can. Froze the can. The whole can is like frozen. There you go, you do get some result. So my advice is to use buffing compound. Use like the least amount of grit possible on this, especially if you're going to sand it by hand, and then see how that turns out. If it turns out really good, leave it. If not, sand it really good and then spray it with some clear coat. I've seen it work. It does work. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.